All right, relatives. So we're going to show a quick update today with Bija Tsunami, Yadawa, Mogoi, and what we see through video, Bija Puni'i. So we're documenting everything here, and we're going to show a little bit about what happened this morning and get a couple of interviews on from people that were participating there, watching, observing. With the security had everyone pulled back, and so no one crossed the road. So there's a lot of people that was able to eyewitness things that were happening with the fire. And so with that, we're going to share just a quick video of a filmmaker that was there, a journalist, and then we'll show you what it looks like. So this side. So right there's I'm gonna scroll back. It got conveniently frozen as soon as I showed you guys, which seems to happen. So this is right inside the actual fire up there from a long lens. One of the guys that was a journalist was there shooting long lens at night. And so we're just going to show you that, and then also we're going to show you a little bit about the next day here with bucket drops happening and what it looked like during the day. This is right outside of Osheki Shikoe, the camp, right actually on the outskirts. So I did a little report last night to let all our relatives know there. So there was no, everyone did really good, you know, and not panicking, because we had people who have firefought and were experienced in firefighting. And so what we witnessed here is the fire had creeped down. You can see which way the wind is blowing on the teepee. So the fire last night, what we had, like, it was probably around maybe a 4 or 5 mile an hour wind. I let the crowd know that my background in fire was 7 years, and there we go with DAPL's helicopter flying over the fire. I just gave them a quick update that over my experience in fire, we did a lot of fire burns at night. And that this fire was, somebody was up on top drip torching this fire. We were watching them from the long lens on the bottom of the media tent, with several journalists there that could see these guys walking across, a lot of guys walking across, and the reports of vehicles and all that I will do in the update right now. But one of the things that you're going to see is, notice this helicopter. This helicopter is we got pictures of this helicopter. If you go back in previous footage, you'll see this helicopter always in the mix. It's a DAPL security helicopter, or there's a high patrol helicopter. This was a distraction, and the distraction is to keep what's going on of the desecration of sacred sites. But also, this distraction is this conveniently goes towards the barricade. So, and there, if you're looking at this area right here, now the camp is, you can see everything that's right there. There'll be tracks there. I mean, you can see when the road. So we seen these vehicles up on top. And so I'm going to do a real quick interview with a relative over there that was just helping out with security and just basically, you know, he's going to give us an eyewitness interview here.
Hi, how you doing? My name is Stephen Christian, and I'm with Indigenous Life Movement. We were there, and when this first started, first off, I would like to just reiterate the importance of what Myron said. Nobody panicked. That was important. There was a lot of, what I witnessed was there's a few people that were getting panicky, because at first it started off, I don't know if you can bring up that footage in a minute. So if you can bring up the footage, I can explain to you where it started. This looks like a north and south, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it must have started right in here, and then it started creeping out in here, but I mean from the opposite direction. And then it started spreading up the hill. This is a bad angle from where I've seen it. But when it started spreading, it started slow. It took about maybe 45 minutes. First off, it was about 600 yards. Would you guesstimate the 600-yard range?
It's about 800 yards from the road.
Okay, 800 yards from the road, and it started with a small fire. Now, We don't know what started it. For myself, I wasn't able to, and I'm not going to be able to account for any of the other things that I've seen. But what I did witness was security was on top of it. Security, first off, they secured the perimeter of the camp. And then the next thing they did was they closed the camp gates off, no in or out. Safety precautions, okay? We have to do, if that was under attack or anything like that, we have to lock these down. We have women and children here. We have the encampment here, and we have to protect them. So our security did what we have to do. And as far as that other thing, I don't know about who started it and stuff, but what was important was that everyone remained calm. People that were in charge, people that have experience, people that have all of the knowledge and things that everyone else does. We have it here in certain individuals. We might not have a lot of them. We might not have 50 doctors, but we got a few, and we're working round the clock. So we have knowledge, and that's what was shared. That's what was brought to the people, the calmness, so that we can go on with our day. That the night was beautiful. It was full of dancing, full of singing, and all of that, and good nature and good people. And that's what we're sharing. Mm-hmm. This wasn't unfortunate that it happened, but was also a blessing. We have to look at things in a negative to a positive light. We never know what it's going to come. We don't know what's going to happen. We're on guard here, but we're smart. We're safe. We have warriors. We have veterans. We have knowledgeable medicine men. We have all of these things. Then now we have the outside sources such as yourself, the media. Larger networks are starting to come a little bit more and more. Celebrities are starting to come, and soon it will be promoted into a large tree. We're waiting. We put out the seeds. We're waiting. We're waiting for it to grow. But we're feeding these things. We're feeding this by working with the camp, being strategic in putting out the words that we say, developing personal, I want to call it friendships, but relatives. So I just wanted to say a few things like that about what I just want to say for myself, and I can only
get back on. Okay, so our next interview is going to be one of our relatives here, Sean, and he's going to give he was on the road and just speaking with law enforcement at that time, and what relative?
Yeah, so we heard about the fire actually from a live stream. So we left here, started en route there towards the camp, and just as we were coming down the hill, there was a officer, law enforcement vehicle, and a fire truck off to the right-hand side. At this time, the fire was still relatively small, smaller than this picture here. And so we stopped and we asked, as I approached the vehicle, I asked who they were. They said they're BIA. I asked, is there a reason you guys aren't going down there with the fire truck? And what they said is, we need permission from North Dakota to go down there because it's stateside. And I said, well, did they give permission? And they said no. And he said instead they got to wait for them to go all the way around the roadblocks, go all the way down and back up. So we went down, we drove, and we looked at the fire for a while, and then when we left, we went back through the BIA checkpoint and again asked them just to reaffirm. At this point, the fire truck had been pulled back, and so when we drove back, we didn't see the fire truck. We asked them again, and we got the same story, that North Dakota said no, we're sending our own responders, but they were disappointed. The BIA people that I talked to seemed to be disappointed that they weren't allowed to go in there and start working on the fire while it was still small. So that's what I saw, that's who I talked to, and that's the information I gained from that.
Oh, thank you. So imagine that if BIA would have acknowledged the 1851 treaty, they would have went straight down there and been able to catch these guys, these arsonists up on the mountain. I, as a personal witness, was there witnessing So I've been firefighting 7 years. I did it through college on the Type 2 crew, and also 1 year I was an assistant FMO, fire management officer, as well as the other 3 years on Black Mountain Hot Shots out of Minden, Nevada. So in my experience, what I witnessed was to automatically document the point of origin, to look at where the fire was started, to look at the terrain, to look at the topography, to look at the relative humidity level, to look at the wind speed, and started documenting this and watching for the arsonist that was up there. I seen him up there, and I kept an eye on him and told the photographers to make sure you reference and let's get some video of exactly what we're witnessing here. So the point of origin, what I seen was, it looked like somebody had a drip torch. It looked either was a drip torch or could have been a flare. They were walking along and they're trying to drag the fire, is what they were trying to do. And they were doing it fast. They were doing it really fast. And so one of the convenient things that you're gonna, when it becomes the Dakota Access Pipeline Security or the Morton County Police Department, is their planes automatically stop flying just right around there. They were flying all up until that time, and also their helicopter. So when we witness something like this change, we document it immediately, because those planes fly all night while they're cutting through and desecrating the land on the far side. Desecrating the land, Dakota Access Pipeline is doing this work every day. And so we need also for you guys to remember that this is 1851 broken treaty land. How do they have the authority to do this? And when we notice the plane stop is when we completely have to document this and videotape it. And this is where I noticed that these guys in the back, we're like, hey, where's all the planes? Where's the helicopter? And make a note of that as well. But just in my professional experience in wildland firefighting as a hot shot, this is a type of wildland, these are the type of fires we did at night. We had a lot of firefighters in camp. A lot of our indigenous people across the country firefight. It is a source of income, and it pays well to go in and also protect Mother Earth. So they started early morning ceremony to take care of this fire as well, and it's very powerful, because fire is the force of nature, and it's a way our mother cleans that earth so things can grow back stronger and grow back better. And many people don't know that our indigenous people used to do fire suppression by the natural barriers, and that's how the buffalo would come back, or that's how the deer and the elk and the antelope would come back, is through natural fire suppression. So witnessing this, it also being so close to prayer, brings it back in your DNA as what we used to do. But observing it as a professional, this was arson. I witnessed them up there. I witnessed the Dakota Access Pipeline Security, as well as the police department's airplane stopped flying right prior to this, and they were nowhere to be sight as we were there for a few hours. The other thing I noticed is that when the agitators went around, they were in a vehicle and they were chased by security. We ran and we documented Dakota Access Pipeline Security running across the grass way in the far back, as there were several cars trying to catch them. We had spotlights on them. So as a journalist, I went to document that as well. We weren't able to get them, but you could see them. They were flashing lights as we were coming about a half a mile towards them in the camp. We came across the grass. We shot over there. But we also know the Humvees were right on the other side of the water. And those are documented in photos as well. And people know they're there. When you flash the lights over on the hill, you can see their Humvees are sitting there. Did anyone get arrested last night that crossed over into the area of the Humvees? That would be something to check. I'm going to leave it up to the public to look at it, because they did cross over there. The water is only about 4 or 5 feet deep. It's not that deep going through there. And the horses were also spooked on the far side, because they were not where they were supposed to be. So there's a lot of signs that we're looking for as our scouts are out there protecting the women, the children from the mercenaries that are right across the river with the Dakota Access Pipeline Security, as well as the Morton County Police Department and National Guard. Nobody was arrested on that side, as we know. If it would have been one of us, we would have been arrested. So with those things, relatives, we also can't cross the bridge. If we've been told if you cross the bridge, you will be arrested. So these are the things and the facts that we're just going to continue to bring to you in video and eyewitness interviews. And so with that, we're going to come back a little bit this afternoon, and the goal is to have do proper research on this, and don't let the point of origin and area be stumbled upon, and that's one of the things how you can do catch an artist with an arsonist. So thank you.
Can we give him a timeline? He's gonna give us an account of the timeline when he experienced the fire starting and when they responded.
Okay. So we're going to do a little bit of timeline on that.
So, real quick, I just wanted to say that the timeline, it started roughly about 12:30, and then at about 11:30 or so, or 12. Now I'm just guessing, but that's about the time. The last plane circled about 11:30, and then at about 12:30 the fire started, and then I personally went to sleep. The first BIA cop responded roughly 45 minutes, or I seen a cop there at the front entrance, but they didn't do anything. They just shut off their lights and that was it. So that was that time, and then I personally went to bed at 7 o'clock in the morning. So I didn't see no helicopters, and then I woke up at 11 o'clock and right on cue, zip. So, you know, you take it for what it's worth, because that's just what it is. I was able to witness that. That was the timeline in response time, just for a little information. So
thank you.
Okay.
Oh.